Hello friends, welcome back to my brand new channel SPS Tech. So in the previous three videos we talked about the basics of cloud computing and the various frameworks and patterns suited to it. Now enough of the theory now. Let's get our hands dirty and build our first web application which will be deployed on cloud. So let's get started. So welcome to our first app on cloud. So for the purpose of this video, we have chosen a Notes app. A Note app has two key requirements. The first one is add notes, which means that it should be able to persist all the notes that we have added to it. And the second requirement is view node, which means whenever we want to view our notes, it should be able to show us all our notes. So for building our Notes app, we require the following tools. The first one is our programming language, which will be Java for this application. We'll be requiring IntelliJ, which is a Java-based IDE used for editing code. We'll be using Spring Boot framework, which is a Java-based framework which provides a ready-made Apache Tomcat in it, and we can use it for building small applications. And for the purpose of this video, we'll be using AWS as our cloud provider, as it is the most popular cloud provider in the market right now. Now let me walk you through the code of our application. So as you can see in the left panel, we have our Notes app project, which is a Maven project. For people who don't know, Maven is a build tool required to build your code and manage the dependencies of your code, which means the external libraries that your code uses. So the pom.xml is the source file for Maven, where we manage all our dependencies for our code. So as you can see in the poms.xml file, we have one dependency, which is a Spring Boot dependency, which will provide us with the Tomcat server which we require for this project. You can see that the version of Java is Java 8 here, and this is a plugin which calls the Spring Boot server so that we can run our web application. So now our code contains three classes. The first one is a controller class, which is a REST controller. The purpose of this class is to manage all the web requests coming to our application. As you can see, there are two types of requests that our application receives. The first one is the get notes request, which will show you all the notes in our application. The second one is add note request. It will accept a note type argument and it will add it to our list of notes in this application. The second class in our code is the note service. As you can see, it is injected into our controller class. For people who don't understand the meaning of injected, it is basically a use of the inversion of control principle where we don't hardwire our classes into other classes and we let the container manage the dependencies. So our node service class contains a reference to our nodes.db file, which is an internal file in which we will persist our nodes. So as soon as this class is initialized, we create a file with the name nodes.db using a static context and we add a welcome message to it. After that, whenever we get a request to get the nodes, we simply iterate this file line by line and return a list of lines to the calling class. And whenever we get a request to add nodes, we increment our counter by 1 and then we add that node at the end of that line along with the counter. We also return the counter number to the calling class, telling it that this node has been saved with this ID. The third class is the launcher class. It is annotated with the Spring Boot application annotation, which helps the Spring framework to launch the Spring Boot web application when we run this class. The component scan notation tells the Spring framework to scan the following packages for identifying beans. And in the main method, we simply start our Spring Boot application. So when we run this method as a Java application, you can see that the Spring framework initializes and it starts its own web application. As you can see here, it prints the message that server started in 15 seconds. So after our server is initialized, let's test our application. So we have two endpoints for our application. The first one is get note, which will return us the nodes in our server. The second one is add notes. It takes our note argument and it will add that note argument into our local notes file. As you can see here, when I call get notes, it currently just prints us the welcome message. And now I'll try to add a new node to our web application. So as you can see, I'm calling the add node endpoint, and with the node argument, I'm sending our node as our first node. So when I hit this endpoint, it will process it and it will assign a unique ID, node number 1 added. Now let me add another node. I tried second node. Again, it assigned ID 2 to it and it told us that it has added. Now since we have added these two nodes, our application should show us these two nodes. So when I call get node again, you can see that it is showing me both the nodes with their IDs which were added. So as you can see, it is a simple web application for adding and viewing nodes. So for building this application, we need to run clean install, which is a standard Maven command for building applications. So once we run clean install, Maven scans our application for all the Java files. As you can see, it has started compiling our Java files. And you can see it has packaged our application as a Spring Boot application and it has placed it in the target folder. Now let us deploy this simple application on AWS instead of our local computer. So in order to getting started with AWS, you need to visit aws.amazon.com. Once you visit this page, you need to register your account with AWS. So for registering, click on create an AWS account. This will open the registration page and you can enter your email, password, and your account name. After you click on continue, it will ask for some more details like your full name, your address, your mobile number. It will later also ask for your credit card number. But please note that AWS is free for first 12 months for a limited access. So you need not worry about getting your credit card charged. Amazon just asks for these card details so that after 12 months, they can start charging you depending upon your usage. You will also receive an activation link on your email on which we need to click to activate your account. So after activating your account, you can log in into AWS via the login page. You just need to enter your email, click on next, enter your password, and it might send an OTP to on your mobile. You just need to enter that OTP and then you will be logged in. So once you log in into AWS, you'll land on the management console page. In this page, you can view the host of services that AWS offers. For deploying our application on AWS, we'll be using Elastic Beanstalk. Beanstalk is a service that allows you to deploy and manage web applications. So I'll just type Beanstalk and I'll get the suggestion for the Beanstalk service. Once I click it, I land on the Elastic Beanstalk page. Currently, I don't have any applications deployed, so there is no entry here. Now we'll deploy our Spring Boot application into AWS. So we'll start by creating a new environment. So we just need to click on create a new environment. It will ask you what kind of environment tier do you want. So you can select the default value, which is a web server environment. So click select. After that, you need to provide an application name. So here I'll add the application name as Notes app. It will automatically populate the environment name as Notes app environment. After that, in the platform option, since we have used Java to build our application, we'll select Java. It will populate the sub drop down and we need to select Java 8 64-bit Amazon Linux platform. We can leave the platform version with the pre-populated value. After that, in the application code option, we need to select upload your code option. Now we'll click on choose file and we'll provide it the jar file of our Java application. The jar file will be available in the target folder of our Notes app application. Once we select this file, we need to click on open. Once it has completed uploading your jar file, you will see a file successfully uploaded message. After that, you need to simply click on create environment. It might take some time to configure your environments. Approximately, you can say 3 to 5 minutes. So as you can see in these logs, the process of creating environment has started. So we just need to wait for a couple of minutes. You might have to refresh it a couple of times. So after waiting a couple of minutes, it will show us a green button, which means now our environment is ready to use. It will also give us a URL through which we can access our application. But before we try to access our application, we need to do one last configuration. So for this, we'll click on configuration. In the configuration page, we need to edit the software properties. So in this, we need to scroll down and add an additional property called server port. And we need to enter its value as 5000. The reason why we have to add this property is that the default port of Beanstalk is 5000. So we need to tell all the requests coming to our application that our application will be listening to port number 5000. So after entering this property, you just need to click on apply. So after this, Beanstalk will rebuild your application. You might have to wait a couple of minutes more. So after a couple of minutes, Beanstalk would have built our application again for the second time, and you will see this green symbol. Now our application is ready to use. So we'll copy this URL and in a new tab, we'll just paste it and then enter our first endpoint, which was get notes. Once you enter it, you can see the default message, welcome to Notes app. So now we'll try to add a couple of notes to our application. So as you can see, it is showing us our note ID and confirming us that our note has been added. We'll just add another note and you can see the second note is saved as well. Now we'll try to read our notes again. So we'll simply call get notes and you can see now that after the welcome message, it is showing us our first note and our second note. So friends, in this video you have seen how easy it is to deploy your application into AWS. And friends, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, I would request you to please subscribe to our channel. This encourages us to create more such videos which will help you to enhance your knowledge on various topics. Also do let us know in the comment section what next video would you like to see. Till then, it is your friend SPS signing off. Take care, stay at home and stay safe.